Welcome to my video on the Union Pacific Heritage Fleet cars, Council Bluffs and Promontory. These are the two cars in the Heritage Fleet to wear the very unique and patriotic color scheme, which is the pinnacle of the Building America brand. The cars are popular hangout spots for passengers riding the train when these cars are included in the consist. Council Bluffs was originally built for the railroad by the St. Louis Car Company as postage storage car 5769. In 2000, UP converted the car to a baggage recreation car. Promontory, seen in the back here, was one of the last cars delivered for passenger service in 1962, and it is currently the youngest car in the Heritage Fleet. It was also built by the St. Louis Car Company as a postal storage car. The current name was given in 1993. Now designated as a museum car, the walls of the car were carpeted to make attaching displays easier. In 2012, the displays were centered on the 150th anniversary celebration of the Union Pacific Railroad. I started working on both of these cars in late 2008 using a Walthers city baggage car as the base to start. The car comes with 3-axle trucks. This example here, I've removed most of the bottom details. The first thing I did on the Council Bluffs was to remove the floor and the trucks and swap it with that of the baggage dormitory car, which would become the Howard Fog. This allowed for the 3-axle trucks to be used on the Howard Fog. Here's a close-up of the 2-axle trucks that are used on the Council Bluffs. After the floor of the Council Bluffs was replaced, the next thing I did was perform the standard modifications. One of those includes replacing the factory striker plate diaphragm with a tube diaphragm that UP uses on almost every one of the cars. Work continued by removing the factory underside detail parts and replacing them with scratch-built styrene pieces unique to each car. Using prototype photos printed on several sheets of paper, I created as many of the individual parts as possible. As the various appliances were finished, I turned my attention to the flag decals. The plan was to make the decals by photoshopping prototype pictures. After I determined I did not have a good candidate photo, I moved on to other projects. Overland Models released a fine-looking brass model of the Council Bluffs in the Building America scheme during 2012. This got me moving again on my project cars. Searching through pictures looking for the right one to use for my decals reminded me that many times the side doors are open with people standing at the opening enjoying the view. I decided to model that look on my Council Bluffs, which differentiates my car from the Overland Models car. I removed the top portion of both doors from one side of the car and painted the interior of the car Harbor Mist gray. Unlike the Council Bluffs, I decided to leave the doors on both sides of the Promontory. Next, I fabricated the solid railing on the outside of the doors from styrene. The railings for both cars were made at the same time. The white railings were painted armor yellow before gluing on top of the lower part of the doors. I painted them in order to keep a uniform color underneath the yet to be applied side decals. I must admit that I did cheat here and use pictures of the 2012 Overland model release to finish out the bottom details of the Council Bluffs. Most of the details were clearly visible in prototype pictures, but having a picture of the underneath of the car made all the difference. It really did take some of the guesstimation out of the equation. Details on the Promontory were created from prototype pictures only. At this point, it was back to the computer to finalize the side decals. The picture was finally selected and work began with Photoshop and paint. There is no way to apply one decal and everything lay down and line up properly. So I broke up the image into 11 pieces with spaces in between the parts. For each piece I had to extend the edge by copying and pasting a few rows of pixels. This way it would have a little wiggle room in the final trimming of the decal piece to fit and blend in with the other pieces as I apply the decals. When the image was completed, the mirror function was used to make the opposite side. A good 25 to 30 hours was spent on the computer during this process. The decal image contained 3 sets of both sides of the car. That way, one white decal sheet would cover the Council Bluffs and Promontory and have a spare of each side in case the need arose. It did. I applied the sections one by one to complete a side. After drying, I gloss coated that side to prevent damage from handling as I moved to the opposite side. After both sides were complete, I installed the roof and gave it a coat of gloss. While the flag decals are identical for both cars, Promontory has yellow placards near a door on both sides, while the Council Bluffs does not. The low-profile GPS antenna was made from styrene and painted gloss black. Its base was glued to the roof and the entire roof painted Harbor Mist gray. The antenna was then carefully glued to the base. The end set of antennas was made as a removable item because of the height of the part. It was painted using local SP light gray. A pin extends from the antenna and fits into a hole drilled in the roof when the car is not stored. The prototype dipole TV antenna mounted near the center of the roof was replicated from a strip of styrene. I painted the antenna using the same SP light gray. A small piece of black monocoat trim film was used on the center portion of the antenna to mimic the prototype photos. I'm happy with how both these cars turned out, capturing what is one of the most unique and colorful paint schemes to adorn any passenger car. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to see my other projects. Thanks for watching.